Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro is campaigning in the state of Miranda. In a speech, he said that action was being taken to catch those responsible for corruption. He also gave details about how Venezuela is fighting an economic war against sanctions imposed by the U.S. and other countries.
We are having a big issue that we have to face. The economic mafia that steals money from Venezuelan people. I started a counterattack against this mafia. With Paper Hands operation, we have detained 250 corrupt leaders that took our money to Colombia. They are in jail now, paying for their crimes. The oligarchs should be afraid, because the revolution against corruption has begun.
Our correspondent Ian Bruce was in a rally in Katia, which took place on Friday, files this report.
It's been another big and enthusiastic turnout for President Nicolas Maduro's campaign event here in the west of Caracas, in the popular neighborhood of Katia. He dealt, of course, with his usual campaign themes, the importance of getting 10 million votes on the 20th of May in order to try and rebuild a healthy economy in Venezuela. But he spent a lot of time also talking about corruption and asking for the help of the organized sections of the population, the communes, the communal councils, to help him root out corruption. Now this, of course, comes one day after the arrest of the directors of the Banesco Bank, 2 days after the Attorney General announced that it was being intervened and that a number of officials had been arrested from the bank, but also from the public sector officials, government officials, local officials, who apparently had been involved in that attempt to divert currency away from the Venezuelan population and speculated with it on the border with Colombia. Corruption is, of course, a deeply felt issue amongst the Chavista rank and file here, who resent that corruption when they see it amongst their own people. The other thing he talked about was Venezuelan sovereignty, defending Venezuelan sovereignty. And that's an issue that came up earlier in the day when there was an extraordinary meeting of all the heads of the different branches of government in Venezuela with Maduro to sort of reassert the unity of the government, which came, of course, a day after the Secretary General of the Organization of American States, Luis Almagro, had backed, in an extraordinary way, a so-called verdict by the so-called parallel Supreme Court, now sitting in Miami, set up by Venezuela's opposition, which had declared that President Maduro was guilty of corruption in relation to Odebrecht, had demanded that he be arrested by the National Guard, and asking Interpol to issue a red alert for his arrest. Now, that may seem rather fantastic, that motion, but even more surprising is that the head, the Secretary General of the regional body, the Organization of American States, should give his backing to that.
Ian Bruce there reporting from Caracas.